All right. And we are live, ladies and gentlemen. Back at you, live on the air, like we're Sports Center or something like that. Still crazy to me. It is the day before UFC 288. Cejudo versus Sterling for all the marbles in the 135-pound bantamweight division. Talk to me, Dimes. How are we feeling on this beautiful Friday?
Good, man. Beautiful day. Happy Cinco de Mayo, all my people, my home country, Mexico. Appreciate y'all. Take a shot for y'all tonight. But man, super excited. I think the more like the weeks gone on, it's like for like Aljo not being really known as like the guy who sells fights, and Henry not being known as the guy like the reason why he left because he wasn't getting paid because he doesn't sell fights. Like it's kind of been selling, bro. Like the more like the drama's building, like the embeddeds are being cool, like there's some weird shit going on. Like, yeah, it might
Mm-hmm.
be cringe, but I mean it's petty and cringy and weird, but like I'm
It
excited,
works.
bro. I mean, I think I'm more excited for this one now than I was probably Monday, Tuesday.
Me
Which
too, by
usually
a
doesn't happen.
mile.
Usually I'm super hyped like all the big pay-per-views, but like this one I was just I wanted to see it, but like I was like to get to the fight, but I really enjoyed the like tune up, the build up to this fight for real.
100%. Their little run-ins all week, and they're both doing a good job.
Yeah,
Henry's been being pretty disrespectful, honestly, in his
yeah.
one-on-one sit-down interviews and the media days. He's not really given any of the bantamweight division the respect that a lot of people think that it definitely deserves. So he's gonna have to answer to those words come about 24 hours from now. Let's
He
go.
is.
I don't think
He
we've
is.
ever done a preview show this close to the actual event.
No. Got
Kind of
all the
feels like an
lines,
unfair
all the lines locked in. We're ready to rock, baby. Let's get into it. You ready to get into
feels
my
like an
picks? Your
unfair
picks?
advantage.
You ready to get into some picks?
I am, of course.
We are gonna start it off with Phil Haas versus. I ain't gonna lie to you. There's some names on this card, man. Phil Haas versus Ikram Aliskerov.
Yeah.
Ikram making his UFC debut, coming in at minus 180. Phil Haas plus 165. Anything here in this fight that interests you?
I mean, it's pretty interesting. The line is pretty interesting because usually when somebody's making their UFC debut against a guy that's pretty established in the division, not like Phil Haas is a top contender or anything like that, but he's been around. He's respectable for sure. So to have somebody be a pretty solid, not a huge favorite, but a pretty solid one, that means that Vegas knows something
Yeah,
about old
definitely,
Ikram over here. And his
definitely.
only loss is to someone that's pretty well known, Hamzat Chimaev. Hamzat knocked him out cold
That
with an
definitely
uppercut.
adds to the resume for sure. It's a good loss.
Yeah, very about as good of a loss as you could possibly have.
Yeah.
I think I'm going with Ikram on this one. I'm not
Okay.
super.
Is that a bet or is that a pick? We got to clarify this for the viewers here.
Yeah, it's a pick. I'm not betting on Ikram. I'm just
Okay.
gonna might throw him in a couple parlays, but not gonna bet anything big on him.
I do as well. I think Ikram wins. Ikram wins, not a bet. I do have my first official bet of the card for this fight. I am going to be betting over 1.5 at minus 125 for one
Mm.
unit. So I wanted to get into the units for our listeners. So a unit is your standard bankroll bet. So if your standard bet is $100, that's one unit. So if you're betting 2 units, 200, half a unit, $50. I mean, your unit could be 500. So just
Yeah,
want to throw that out there when I say all these bets and say unit sizes.
I like that. I like that. Good to clarify for the listeners out here. The betting community is a growing one, but a lot of people, don't know all the terminology yet.
Yes, sir. So
But
Phil
yeah,
Haas versus Ikram Aliskerov over 1.5 minus 125 for one unit. Lock that in for me. Our next fight, Kennedy. You gotta start saying some names, bro. I'm not gonna look stupid here the whole show.
I
We can
gotcha.
take turns on the names.
We've got oh man, this is the only hard one left. We got Kennedy. Everyone knows who he is. Kennedy Inchekuku. That's so wrong, but I'm sorry, Kennedy. We'll just say Kennedy versus Devin Clark. I'm excited for this fight though.
Yeah,
It's
no,
a
it's a good fight.
very good, two solid fighters, two strong athletes. I'm gonna go with Kennedy. Pretty boring going with another favorite, and I think I might lay half a unit on Kennedy money line.
Okay. Minus 190, Devin Clark plus 160. I don't have a bet here. I don't like bet nothing minus one, or he's at minus 175 now. So yeah, I don't have a bet here. I don't like him that much to lay 175. So I'm gonna stay away. But if I did have to pick a winner, I'm picking Kennedy on this one.
I like it. And the next fight, this one, the main event of the prelims.
This is my non Burns and Aljo. This is my favorite fight on the card.
I was gonna say, yeah, it's probably my third favorite right here.
Yeah.
I think this one is just guaranteed violence either way. Drew Dober versus Matt Steamroller Favola. Two guys that just go in there and lay it all out there. They go looking for the knockout when they go into the fight. Not much else. So I think Drew Dober has a better chance of getting the win. I think he's still minus. He's still a favorite inside
Drew
the
Dober.
distance, right?
Drew Dober minus 210. Matt Favola plus 175.
Yeah, so obviously you don't want to lay that on Dober. So I would recommend going Drew Dober by knockout, which I would assume isn't that much better.
I actually have my underdog play of the day here. I'm gonna go with Matt the Steamroller Favola. I just think this fight's a lot, like I talk about all the time, a lot of value. I think this fight's too close to have someone minus 210, and especially in a fight where both guys are gonna get in the pocket in exchange. Everyone has a puncher's chance. So let me get Favola plus 175 here for 1 unit. Take a little underdog play today.
I like that. It's back to your coin flip method, kind of, huh?
Yeah. I mean, I like Drew Dober. He for sure deserves to be favored. I wouldn't say he deserves that price, but I like Matt Favola too. So give me Matt Favola plus 175
for the price, especially that one.
Yes, sir.
If I had to guess what was going to be fight of the night, that would be my bet for that.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Let's get to the main card. We have the return of Kron Gracie versus Charles, top 5 nickname Air Jordan. Kron Gracie coming in at plus 140. Charles Jordan minus 165. What do you like here? I gotta say though, Kron Gracie is a weird dude.
Yeah,
he's a weird dude, bro. Yeah, he's just I don't know. Everyone's picking him to win, and now it's kind of just like I don't want this fool to win, bro. He's fucking weird.
Well, you're in luck because my play of the day is on this fight right here. I've got Charles Air Jordan money line minus 165. I'm playing it. I guess that's playing it pretty safe for a play of the day. Yeah, man. I mean, Gracie, he's been out of the mix for 3 years now?
Yeah.
And based off of what we've seen from him, I don't know. I mean, he could be in the gym every day, but he kind of seems like he's just out there hiking or
he's definitely
on clouds or something. Yeah. So I don't know, man. Gracie was he was a solid prospect when he was fighting a lot, but he was nothing to behold. This matchup honestly kind of confused me. I felt like Jordan was a little bit above Gracie. Like they should have given Gracie someone a little bit lower on the featherweight totem pole. So if it makes sense, hopefully it makes dollars. I'm going with Charles Air Jordan. Play of the day. 2 units. Bing.
So I got something here. So I like Charles Jordan to win the fight. I don't like him enough at 165, but I think he wins. I wouldn't mind throwing him in a parlay or two. But so I think Charles is going to win. Okay, I think Charles is going to win. Stay with me here. But I'm going to bet Kron to win by submission plus 240 at half a unit. Because he's plus 140 right now. And I think if he wins, it has to be by sub. Like I think if it goes the distance or something like that. So I'm going to go with Kron Gracie, half a unit by sub plus 240, but I like Jordan to win the fight.
I feel like that's smart betting right there.
I appreciate it. I had to get in my bag a little bit, you know?
There's definitely potential for a Gracie sub because Air Jordan, as his nickname says, he usually tries some crazy stuff in the fight, flying knees, flying kicks, Superman punches, stuff off the cage. And if you try something like that against a submission artist, it's very possible that they could catch you in a little situation that you don't want to find yourself in.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, Jordan play the day, but a submission artist is always scary.
I like it. Our next fight, continuing in the featherweight division, Movsar Evloev versus Diego Lopes. Diego Lopes coming on 3-4 day notice?
Yeah, because my guy Thug Nasty had to pull out.
That's what I was gonna ask you. So what? He's got to get off the farm shit, bro.
Right? You think that's how he hurt his back?
I mean, I just think that helps. Like, I don't know, bro. Like, I don't know, but I just think like, is fighting his sole focus, and is that what he wants to do?
That's what I've kind of been contemplating with too, because no, he's a full-time farmer.
Who's he train with out there? Like, is there a gym?
There's a gym in Arkansas. Yeah, I don't remember the name of it, but TJ Brown trains there too. So he's
But I
not the
just feel
only
like whenever I
UFC guy.
watch him on Embeddeds and like this week and then like the previous like times he's been on pay-per-views, like it's never him in the gym. It's always on the farm.
Yeah,
And I
and he
get it.
does
Like
have,
I'm sure like that's on purpose. Like Embedded wants to see him on the farm, but like it's just like you gotta be committed to this shit, bro. Same thing we said with Patty. Like you can't just be getting fat when you're off. Like you gotta be
yeah.
committed to this shit.
I think Bryce's situation's better than Patty's though, because he still trains all the time. Like not as much maybe as other fighters, but I think he
Yeah.
consistently trains, and it's not like he's sitting around getting fat like Patty. He's out there working on a farm.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of how he hurt his back. Did you hear what he said about his injury?
No.
So he said that he's had a back issue for a little while now, and it'll just tighten up on him out of nowhere, and he won't really be able to move much at all. And it happened to him this week. It kind of flared up, so he's gonna have to take a break from the farm too. Probably, I don't know how that's gonna work. How's he gonna eat? So I don't know. Hopefully, Doug Nasty can find somebody to run his farm for him while his back recovers. He can make a speedy recovery, get a performance of the night bonus in his next fight.
He's gonna need that when he comes back.
But
This
anyway,
was
such a good opportunity for him too.
Yeah,
man.
it was a really good. I was excited to see him back. Kind of made the card a little more entertaining. But anyway, shout out Diego Lopes. Thank you for coming in. Diego Lopes coming in at plus 600. Movsar Evilov at minus 900. I don't really think there's a bet here. I am gonna bet something though. You know me. I'm gonna bet half a unit on plus 600 because if I see plus 600, I'm gonna bet it. So half a unit on plus 600. Diego Lopes.
I was gonna say Evil by submission isn't a bad move either. I think that's what's gonna happen. He's probably gonna mess around on the feet for a little bit and then either club and sub, or he's just gonna shoot for a takedown, get to the back, get somewhere where he can get him out of there and have a pretty quick night. Unfortunately.
Yeah. I like it.
And
I like it.
This next fight, I got a dog of the day on this one. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, we got Jessica Andrade minus 175. Jan Ixonan plus 150. So you got Jan here?
I do.
Okay.
I think Andrade, she's a brawler, obviously. We saw it in the Blanchfield fight and all of her fights. She just likes to walk forward, try to get you out of there. And Jan, she's fast and technical. So that's usually a pretty good combo when you're going against a brawler. I usually like to side with the technicality person. You know, we love technicality out here on Outside the Cage.
Facts.
So, yeah, man, give me Jan. And if you want to juice it up a little bit more, get a little more bang for your buck, Jan by decision. I think this one, if it gets finished.
People at home. If you like her plus 160, just take her plus 160. Because if you take her by decision and she knocks her out, you're gonna be pissed because you picked the winner. You picked the underdog. You're hyped, but she fucking knocked her out and not by decision. So just take the plus 160 and call it a day. Don't be greedy.
That's some true shit. Can't lie.
So I got Andrade winning the fight, and I also have two bets here. I think Andrade gets the finish inside the distance. So I'm gonna bet Andrade by sub. Plus 500 and Andrade by KO plus 225 at half a unit each. I just think, like you said, I agree. I think Jan's more technical, but I think Andrade is just her power and physicality is going to be too much for her. So I think Andrade's best way to win is to get it over with early. I think the longer it goes and the more you get into deep waters and it gets more technical, I think Jan wins. So I think Andrade finishes her probably second round. And then I don't know, maybe I'm hoping it's sub, obviously for the plus 500, but definitely see a knockout, but I like Andrade here to win the fight.
Yeah, dude, it's scary because Andrade is definitely the more established fighter. She's the favorite for a reason. But hey, dog of the day, gotta stick with it. Come on, Jan.
Yes, sir. I mess with it. Let's get to it, man. These next two are main event of themselves. The co-main event of the evening. Go ahead. Finish it off.
Man, the co-main event of the evening, stepping in to save the card, honestly, because no one was going to be looking forward to this card if it wasn't for these two guys hopping in on extremely short notice. Gilbert Burns versus Belal Muhammad. title eliminator in the welterweight division. More than deserved for both of these guys. Not a lot of talk, maybe a little, but this one is just all business with both of these guys.
Here to fight.
I saw Bilal was going at the New Jersey crowd a little bit, saying,
Why are they so pro Gilbert? Like, what's the deal there?
I don't know. They might just be anti-Bilal.
Yeah, I feel it.
Yeah, it was weird, though.
Yeah. Yeah, it was kind of weird. I mean, man, this is – I don't want to make excuses, obviously. I wish we could see these guys on a full camp off not such a hard cut. But, I mean, we can't complain, man. We get these two. They both have, like, reasons, like Gilbert's just coming off a fight in the camp. Bilal's coming off Ramadan. So it's not like one guy is completely healthy or like completely rested and one guy's just coming off some shit. So that's why I do like this fight. It's about as close as it gets, man. We got Gilbert Burns -125, Bilal Muhammad +105. I think by the time this fight, the bell rings, it's about a pick 'em. If like I said, all the outside factors, if it was an even fight and it was matched up and everyone had 6 months rest and a full camp and no injuries, I don't know who I would favor. So that being said, like with all this outside stuff, with Bilal just coming off Ramadan, and then also like I think that Masvidal fight and Burns coming off that, like I just look at that fight as just a fucking sparring session, bro. So I just think like, yeah. So I just think like Gilbert's kind of had a full camp, and like he just didn't really. I mean, I don't know if he stopped. I'm sure he trains every day. I'm right. He took a couple of days off, a week off after the fight, but I feel like he's had sparring sessions harder than that, dude. So I just think that he's more locked in. He didn't have time to gain all that weight like Bilal did. Bilal had Ramadan, so I just see Gilbert Burns with that price, the run he's on, the people he's beat, and I gotta go Gilbert here. So I'm gonna bet Gilbert -125. That's gonna be. I'm gonna go for 1.5 units there. So I'm gonna get a little risky here. I'm gonna bet that 1.5 units. I like Gilbert a lot. And then also I'm going to bet an alternate over on the rounds. I'm going to go over 3.5 rounds -200.
I like that. It's kind of a steep price, but I agree.
I never lay juice, but I like it. So, and then, yeah, I mean, the 5-round factor too. Like, how's Bilal going to do 5 rounds coming off that? Like, I mean, I don't know. I just think that it's so evenly close that when it's this close, you have to look for things like this, and that matters. So I'm going to have to go. I got to go Gilbert.
Yeah, you already kind of answered the question that I was planning on asking you. I was going to ask if you thought it was a bigger advantage for Gilbert coming off of a fight and kind of just having an extended camp.
I don't think it feels like a brawl, obviously not, but the way it went, like he was fucking sparring.
Literally, dude, I was thinking the same thing. He's probably had sparring sessions and just training sessions that were harder than that fight.
Yeah.
He was in control the whole entire time. But Bilal, one of his number one weapons is also his cardio. Yeah. And I don't want to assume things, but I don't think that cardio is going to be as good not off of a full camp and right after Ramadan, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So knowing what we know, not obviously we can't play what if, but like knowing what we know, the longer the fight goes Saturday, you would say favors Gilbert.
I'd agree. Yeah, but on the flip side, another thought I had is that I wonder if for a fighter, when you've been in camp for that long, obviously at some point it's too long. That's why people have tapering and stuff like that, where they kind of ease off the training. Is there a chance that Burns' body might almost be a little out of gas just from being in camp all the way before that Masvidal fight, continuing to be in camp after 2 weight cuts back to back?
So, yeah, but I just think, there's a lot. There's so many, like, it could matter. And but then also, does that matter more than Ramadan? Like, there's just so much. So it's just like, I think Bilal's body's more drained than Gilbert is going into this. So I just got to go with Gilbert.
I was bringing up those points, but I also am going to be going with El Dorino because
his body's more drained from like training and being in the gym, still getting better. Bilal is just drained because he didn't fucking eat for whatever. I don't know whatever Ramadan is. I don't know.
Yeah, I think you can eat before and after the sun comes up.
I just know that shit's got to be hard if Khabib wouldn't fight during it.
Ooh, Barry Grant from the All Even podcast.
Fighter on the card. That's a good question.
Best technical fighter. I mean, I'd have to say Henry Cejudo personally.
Yeah.
One of the GOATs. He's 5'4", and he's been whooping dudes for his whole career. He has Olympic wrestling pedigree, and he's one of the better strikers in that division as well. He's a savant of the game. He coaches people. So Henry Cejudo would be my answer for the best technical fighter on the card.
And I think also too, I think Bilal needs some respect. I think a lot of times Bilal, like we've seen it in the Sean Brady fight, like he changes up whatever his matchup needs. If he's a better wrestler, he's gonna wrestle. If he's a better striker, he's gonna strike. So I think when you call around like all around technicality and like you mix in everything, I definitely think obviously Henry Cejudo because he's one of the goats. But Bilal too, Bilal's game plans have always been elite. That's another reason too why it's a hard fight to pick because you know what Burns is going to do. I think we all know what Burns is going to do. I think Burns falls in love with the brawling a little bit. And I don't think Bilal like sticks to one thing. I think Bilal is going to switch it up, change things up. He can strike, he can wrestle. So yeah, I'd probably say, like you said, probably Henry or I would probably lean to Bilal too.
Yeah, and another thing about Bilal, I hadn't really, obviously he's up there in technicality, and he's not a freak athlete at all, so he has to be all technique and grit and just getting it done ugly. Man, I am so excited for these last two fights of the night. Just what dogs, Bilal and Gilbert they're both risking a lot because if either one of them loses this fight, there's not really
and also, I wanted to say, like, everyone's like finally saying like, oh, Dana finally said the winner of this gets the next shot. I don't like, or the winner of this, their next fight for the title. Like that didn't need to be said. That was understood. The reason everyone was complaining was because everyone was saying the winner of this should fight next. Like the next welterweight title fight should have one of these dudes in them. It wasn't about like their next fight being for the title. That was a given. That's common sense. What everyone wants is the winner of this to fight Leon Edwards the next time Leon Edwards defends his belt. That's what everyone wants.
They don't want Colby to still have the title shot over these guys.
Everyone's like hyping Dana. You know, there's no bigger Dana fan than me, but everyone's hyping Dana like, oh, he finally said it. This is what we wanted. Like, no, we knew that it wasn't rocket science. We knew the winner of this next fight would be for the title. What we want is the next welterweight fight to have one of these guys in them.
There we go. Let's push the issue a little bit. We're not going to let him off the hook.
He's not fooling me with the definitely. Like, no, we know that. I want the person who wins this fight to fight for the belt the next time Leon Edwards defends it.
Ooh. And we got another question from the All Even podcast. Shout out to the All Even podcast as well. It is hilarious. They cover about all sports, I'm pretty sure. Any fight have quick knockout capability? I would say early on, 100% Braxton Smith and Parker Porter, two massive heavyweights. They both got big old bellies, and they get in there to knock people out, and they don't want to spend more than 5 minutes. They're trying to get their paycheck and bounce. And then the other one, the obvious one that everybody's been hyping it up. You wanna take that one away, Dimes?
Yeah, Drew Dober, Matt Frevola. I think that one ends inside the first round either way. So you can just probably take the under, but like in fights like that, like I kind of stated earlier why I like Frevola, because I think both those dudes are gonna get in the pocket and exchange. So I think that one ends quick, probably under. I think that shit ends under 4 minutes, bro. I just don't see those dudes, like just the way those dudes fight. They're super gassed up, super juiced. You see what Drew Dober did to Bobby Green last time he was out. Frevola back-to-back knockout wins, so I think that one ends inside the first round for sure.
Yeah. And Barry, if you're looking to have a little fun betting on the card, you could do a little parlay first round KOs for both the Parker Porter Smith fight and the Drew Dober Matt Frevola. That would probably be pretty juicy. So it might be something to consider.
Let's get into it. Take it away, brother.
Oh, we're moving on to the main event.
Let's do
to
it.
Figure it all out in our favorite division in the world.
Finally get some clarity.
How long have we been talking about this? Probably since like episode 20.
In October.
Jeez, bro. It is finally.
That was the last defense, right? Versus TJ?
Yeah.
That's October. Let me see. I have the poster right here. October 22nd.
It's like I think that's 7 months. So I guess we can't hate on Aljo too bad for that. 7 months it's a little below average, I would say, for retaining or defending your title, but it's respectable. Quicker than Schlom.
So we got Aljamain Sterling plus 100, Henry Cejudo minus 120. The lines, it's about as close as you can get. I've seen Aljo minus 110. I've seen Henry minus 120. Let's just call it even money. Let's call it what it is. It's even money. These two are it's happening. You know, when he's kind of like the John Jones, not so much, but like, is Henry really coming back? Like, no, he's here. And I think all the talk this week, I've loved it from Henry. I've loved it from Aljo. I think both guys, like, usually, like, kind of like when guys are talking in a press conference and media, like, he doesn't really believe that shit. But I think both these guys really do believe like they're gonna fucking win inside the distance. I really do believe that. Like, they don't. I truly believe them when they say that they think they're gonna win.
Yeah, when Henry's talking, he's so cocky and it's pretty annoying, but you can see that he actually believes it. And it's because he's been working really hard his whole life. It's not just like stupid confidence.
He's a student of the game.
Yeah, man, he's a student and a teacher.
Yeah. So who do you think? So who's a better striker here?
I think Henry for sure is a better striker.
Okay.
I mean,
so Henry's a better striker. Henry's a better wrestler, but Aljo's a better MMA wrestler. Is that kind of what?
That's kind of what I'm leaning towards. But I don't know, because I mean, he hasn't done Olympic wrestling since he was 18 years old. So,
well, because like my thing is like, if someone asked me who's a better mixed martial artist, I would say Henry.
Mm-hmm.
And Henry's an Olympic gold medalist, so then you're going to tell me he's not better wrestler, MMA wrestler than Aljo?
Exactly.
So,
bro,
I don't know.
I've got to say, though, Merab has to be so huge in the camp for this fight. Like, could you think of a better person to prepare for Henry Cejudo than Merab?
That's probably who I would like pick. Like, if they weren't a team and I didn't like, I would just be like, who in the top 10 would you pick? I would probably pick Merab. There's no one in the world other than Merab that I'd pick.
Maybe Volk, but I don't know. Henry's not that big. I mean, yeah. Yeah, but Merab is an elite training partner. So Henry's been getting hard reps in against somebody, I would say, that's in the same tier as Henry for wrestling, because Merab is an elite wrestler as well.
Well, he's fucking number one contender in the world, bro. Like, you know?
Yeah. Sheesh, man. And then this fight's really going to open up the gates. We're going to know what's going to happen after this fight.
They've both called out Sugar, though, bro. So we know Sugar's next. Yeah. That's the thing. That's the thing I took away from this week. They both called out Sugar. Sugar's next.
It's funny, too,
because it's just a matter of when.
Both of these guys have been saying that they do not want to stay down at 135, but they're willing to almost kill themselves one more time, cut down to that weight.
Sugar's big money.
Yeah, exactly. And they all hate on him, but they're willing to kill themselves almost with the weight cut just to get the chance to be in the presence of Sugar Sean.
Facts.
So that's pretty cool.
Facts. All right, enough beating around the bush. Do you got to play for me here?
All right. So first I'll say what I think the methods to victory would be for both guys. I think that Cejudo, he just kind of wants to get in that boxing range with Aljo and just, pop, 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 move in, move out. I don't think he's really going to mess around initiating grappling, because you don't want to be in scrambles with Aljo. Yeah. I know Henry's an elite scrambler as well, but that's Aljo's bag, and that's what he's been finishing people with for the last 5 years in the UFC, in the toughest division. So, yeah, Henry's going to want to keep it on the feet, strike, and I think probably win by decision would be Henry's way. Just kind of never let Aljo get going. And Aljo, same as every other fight, he wants to get on the back and submit you. Yeah. So
you didn't give me an answer.
I'm going with Henry Cejudo. I've been going back and forth a lot. I don't even think I want Henry to win, but I think he's going to.
Okay.
And I know I'm going against that stat that fighters over 35 years old.
I was saving it. You want me to read it?
Yeah. Read it right here.
The record of UFC fighters over 35 years old between the 125 and 175 division in title fights is 2-28. Now, everyone's going to say, what about GSP? That was at 185. So the only two wins belong to Tyron Woodley.
And they were against
who'd
he beat?
Henry Cejudo's 36. Cejudo was 33 the last time he fought, and that was in 2020.
I hate that. I hate betting on guys like that. But yeah. I just think he's like a I don't know, dude. I mean, he's kind of on that John level. He just not in the same way, but
Yeah. So if you've been paying attention to listen to what I'm saying, these whole picks, I haven't had a play of the day yet. So my play of the day is Aljamain Sterling minus 105. I think what I just told you guys, I think it's too close to not follow that stat. And that's not the sole reason. I think that they're very similar. So like when they're very similar, the skills kind of match up. Give me the younger guy. Give me the guy who's fresh. Give me the guy who's been doing this, not taking 3 years off. Like I'm just gonna take my chances on the younger guy. That's what it is. I don't have a reason. I don't have a scout for you. I just think that they're so evenly matched that I just have to favor the guy who's been doing it for the last 3 years, while one guy's been coaching and doing YouTube videos.
Facts, and eating a lot.
That's just what it is. So that's my play of the day. Aljamain Sterling minus 105 and then we want the Sugar fight. Lock in. Let's go.
And I think you taught me a little betting lesson right there. I took something from that, because in a fight where you really can't find an edge between the two guys, and then you see something like that, that's an edge right there.
Yeah.
That's that. So may as well go with the guy that you can find an edge for.
Yes. So I'm going to read my bets here. I got Phil Haas over 1.5 rounds, minus 125 for 1 unit. Matt Frevola plus 175 for 1 unit. Cron Gracie by sub plus 240, half unit. Diego Lopes plus 600, half a unit. Jessica Andrade by KO plus 225, half a unit. Jessica Andrade by sub plus 500, half a unit. Gilbert Burns minus 125, 1 unit. Aljamain Sterling minus 105 for 2 units. My play of the day is Aljamain Sterling. My dog of the day is Matt Frevola. And I got my parlay juiced up when you're ready, brother.
Oh boy, I'm looking for a pen right now, because if y'all tuned into last week's episode, we're gonna start keeping stats. So we got to make sure that we're getting this dialed in right now. Play of the day, Aljo. Dog of the day was Frevola.
Frevola.
All right. Let's hear the parlay.
All right. My parlay is kind of juicy. I'm going to go Jessica Andrade, minus 190. Alternate round total, Burns and Bilal over 3.5, minus 200. Kennedy and Ezgauku, minus 190. And Aljo, minus 105. That comes in at plus 582. I'm going to bet that for half a unit. So let's rock. I like this one. I really do like this one.
I like that too. That's juicy. Read it out one more time for the listeners, not for me to write it down.
Parlay?
Yeah.
Jessica Andrade minus 190. Burns and Bilal over 3.5 rounds minus 200. Kennedy and Ezgauku minus 190. Aljo minus 105 plus 582.
I do like that. I like that a lot.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Any like hot takes on this card, or like what are we gonna be? Let's play a little Monday morning quarterback. What are we gonna be talking about on Monday?
Oh, Monday morning, we're gonna be talking about. Let's see. I think Braxton Smith, way down there on the early prelims, the heavyweight. He's gonna make an impression on some people. He might have a scary knockout. He is just a big dude that hits really hard. And we've seen Parker Porter get hit really hard before plenty of times. So I like Braxton Smith. Obviously, that's not going to be headline news or anything like that, but he's going to make a name for himself. I think that Dober Frevola fight, as we already said, going to be crazy. But honestly, I don't know. I mean, we're obviously going to have stuff to talk about, but mainstream media-wise, I don't think they're
I think one topic we'll have here on Monday that we're going to have to talk about is Aljamain Sterling the bantamweight GOAT? I think if he goes in and he puts on a good showing against Henry Cejudo, I think that puts him in the conversation right away. He'd have the most dominant run in bantamweight history, especially in the division where, right? Especially how we talk about how it's like one of the best divisions right now, clearly. And we've had one champ for 2 years, a year and a half. So I think that that's worth something. The division's so stacked. We've only had one champ for the past year and a half. So I think that's what we're going to be talking about. So I'm hoping I'm right because obviously that's the play of the day. So y'all let us know what you think. I hope everybody enjoys the fights. You got any last words, brother?
Yeah, a really good card's about to start. A little appetizer for any of y'all if you want to get your fight juices flowing. ONE FC, they're about to have a card. One of the other GOATs, Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson's going to be having his trilogy fight tonight, which should be a pretty good one. He is I have the odds somewhere. He's a minus 190 favorite against Adriano Moraes. So if you're feeling confident in the Mighty Mouse, take that. But it is a trilogy. They've both won with a flying knee knockout. And then we've got Mikey Musumeci. If any of y'all listen to the Joe Rogan podcast, you've probably heard the episode with him. He eats only pizza and pasta, right?
Yeah.
But he's one of the best jiu-jitsu practitioners in the world. He has a submission grappling match going on. And then we got Sage Northcutt making his return to the cage, a once highly touted prospect in the UFC, looking to climb his way back up through a ONE FC. He's going to be fighting Ahmed Mushtaba. And then we also got Rod Tang in a Muay Thai match. Always fireworks with Rod Tang. So those are my last words. Tune into ONE FC as well. Spread the love around to the different promotions this weekend.
Yes, sir. Hope everybody enjoys the fights. Go ahead.
Next time we talk, what's the score going to be in our series? We're 1-1 right now.
2-1.
We're talking about Lakers Warriors, by the way.
2-1 dubs. Last game was too dominant. Darvingham can't adjust. We're going to be up 2-1. We found the formula. You guys, if we space the floor, Malik Green hits threes, you guys can't guard us. So Warriors up 2-1. Warriors in 5. We win the next 4. We win the next 3.
We just need Data Davis to
win the next 3.
Just let Anthony Davis do him. Like the good him. There's 2 Anthony Davises. I'm telling you, he has a twin brother. I'm telling you, you're gonna believe me by the end of this series after watching.
I believe it already.
Bro, like in game 1, you were probably thinking, what do we do about AD? And then game 2, you don't even have to worry about it because he's not doing shit on his own.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the Lakers, they piss me off. Nick Nurse, is he going to be going to Milwaukee? Because the Bucks fired their head coach.
If I'm a head coach in the league with any respect, like Nick Nurse, he doesn't need that job. I think they have to get a guy that's like a young guy that's like his first job because I don't see how any coach respects them enough to go take a job there.
Milwaukee?
Yeah, the dude just won a championship, the first ever. He loses Giannis. His brother dies mid-series, and he doesn't miss a game. Like, I don't know.
Bro, yeah, that was messed. Yeah, dude. And they had their best record ever this year, right?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't like it, but
you wouldn't expect that from a franchise like Milwaukee, too. Usually the smaller markets, I feel like they're more loyal, you know? Because they want to build that sense of community.
Weird for sure.
I mean, you're always watching the coaching just as much as you're watching the players on the floor. So were there things that you noticed schematically in that Milwaukee-Miami series?
I don't think he's very good defensively. I think to let Jimmy do what he did that series, there's no excuse for that. I think when Giannis went out, he kind of really didn't have a plan offensively. They kind of got stagnant. But I mean, anyone would with the superstar of the league. So, but yeah, I just think more so defensively. I don't think he makes enough adjustments defensively to like put them in positions to win if they don't outscore somebody. So like prime example, Giannis goes out, you can't score as easily, so then you got to guard, and I just don't think I think that was the reason why. I think his defensive schemes weren't up to par with someone like Spoelstra or someone like Steve Kerr, you know.
Expose him.
Yeah,
I'm liking my Miami Heat out of the East pick.
Right that's crazy pick, but that's a crazy pick, by the way.
Wasn't that nuts?
Yeah, that's crazy.
I mean, I could have already cashed out, honestly, if we had placed those bets. If I had a future on the Heat, I probably would have had a little cash out value after they beat Milwaukee.
Yeah, facts.
But you got any parting thoughts? I'll steal your term.
No, sir. Let's lock in. Everybody enjoy the fights. Stay safe. Bet at your own risk.
Drink water before and after you drink alcohol. Happy Friday, everybody. Doses.